I'm Mike Manjos, and welcome to Market Wrap, a weekly overview to what's driving the luxury watch industry. So as you can see, we're back in the office on our regular routine, a few days in the office, a few days at home. Things are going very actively. It's been a busy summer, and we're enjoying the summer weather and also enjoying a lot more trading this summer than we're used to, which we spoke about last week. Things have been super active. We're seeing a lot of people buying and selling and seeing a lot of great watches come across our desk. So this week we're going to talk about three pieces that just came in. The first one is a Ferrari watch. Now, a lot of people might remember the days of Gerard Perregaux making Ferrari watches. Then Panerai got the contract to make watches for Ferrari. It was a huge hit when it first came out, lasted a few years and then faded away. I think they ended up going with a Hublot later on the road, but we have what is a Ferrari 12. So it was the 8-day GMT, had the Panerai in-house movement, so their 8-day power reserve, awesome movement. And interestingly enough, this watch has become collectible, which shocks me because the Ferraris were kind of overlooked, a little bit snubbed by collectors, and now you go online, you'll see a lot of activity. We don't get a lot of these pieces in because it was only made for a few years. So the 12 is an 8-day piece that I love to have in the collection. The second piece is kind of a classic, but the new version. It's the Audemars 15500 ST. This particular one is the black dial, 41 millimeters. It is the updated version of what to me is one of the ultimate classic watches. Stainless steel sports watch. If you've ever worn one, it's one of the most comfortable watches to wear. The 15500 is the new updated movement. You can tell the difference immediately with the date is just kind of pushed a little bit more to the right. It's one of those little things that you'll pick up on the watch. But the most important thing is it's just super comfortable. We rarely get them. We haven't had one in months. This is the watch that when you do get through the boutique, and they're mostly available through the boutiques, it's something a lot of guys keep. So great to have that come through. The black dials, the blue's the hottest hot one. Love the black though. So this one's a great one to have the collection as well. The last piece will surprise some of you people who have listened to me before. It's actually a Patek Philippe Aquanaut. Most everybody knows I'm not the biggest Aquanaut fan, but if you forced me to take an Aquanaut, this would be the version. It's the 5168G. So it's the white gold. Has the cool blue dial, blue rubber strap. And it's got a little bit more weight than the steel piece. So I love the feel of it on your wrist. I'm a blue junkie, as everybody knows. Again, a great piece. The greens become super hot because it was the newest introduction. But again, put them side by side. I'll take the blue every time. I think that's an awesome piece to have as well. Won't last long, I'm sure. So I had a really busy weekend last weekend with very little sleep because it was Hong Kong auctions. So Hong Kong auctions, good, bad, or indifferent, start anywhere between 11 and 12. Of course, it's at night because they're 12 hours ahead of us, and run through the night. So up and down with a couple hours of sleep. Was up mostly Friday night, was up most of Saturday night, but really enjoyed following the auctions, seeing what the market's all about. It opened up with Philips. It was a decent sale. They had spectacular results in Geneva, so everybody was anticipating this sale. I would say we saw some strong results at $24.99. Patek brought $600K. But again, Journe was leading the way. They had a black dial Senograph. It's a piece that we had on our site 3 or 4 months ago at $79,000, brought $112. So we're still seeing this escalation in the Journe market, especially on the rare dials. They also had an Elegante, the ELHT. Again, quartz piece, very cool piece, 48 millimeters, but quartz, brought over 20,000. It's a piece that retails around 12. But again, super hard to come by, super collectible. The Journe Fury is in full swing and continues as the auction season goes on. So Sotheby's was the second sale that came up. They made big headlines selling a platinum strap Daytona. Not the one you would think about, the platinum on the bracelet, but a 116516, so an early version platinum, possible unique piece. Had a lapis dial. Nobody had ever seen this piece. Brought $3.2 million. I mean, a huge result. So it's all you saw plastered all over the internet was this record sale. The underlying sale, though, was rather weak. There was a lot of Pateks, some of the classic perpetuals, some other pieces that just went unsold. There was a number of longs that did not reach reserves. So it was a little bit of a disappointing sale because the underlying pieces were weak. And everybody's just looking at that one headline that looked great, but if you dive into it deep, not a great sale. Hopefully that'll pick up as we go forward. The last sale was Christie's, and this was the one we were all watching for. So as we spoke last week, they had a collection of 12-minute repeaters coming up in one sale. And I brought up the fact that that's interesting to see how that will play out because, usually you see 1 or 2 minute repeaters and it's a lot to put on the market at one time. Well, the first piece went great. It was a unique piece, the 5033 titanium, brought 1.9 million. Second piece sold great. Then the next 4 pieces went unsold. If you've ever been to an auction or watch an auction, there's about nothing that'll take the wind out of a room more than unsold, unsold, unsold. And these were great pieces. The 5078, the 5033, all passed. The 5074 did sell, but at $327, which is a bargain price. And then the last piece, the 5016 black dial, brought $300,000. Again, these are levels on the special Pateks that we haven't seen. I mean, they were easily $400,000 and $500,000. I think so many people are focusing on the Journe market and these crazy Rolex markets that I think people are starting to ignore a little bit of the Pateks, which might mean it's time to start looking at these pieces. I mean, at these pieces, those Pateks, while it's still $300,000, are a bargain. So as we're talking about Pateks, it was an exciting morning because Patek introduced new product today. Now, we thought earlier in the year we weren't going to get new product, so it was a great surprise to hear that new pieces are coming out. It was only 3 pieces, but 3 pieces is certainly better than nothing. The first one is a 5303 minute repeater tourbillon, a skeleton dial. Now this flies in the face of everything that was Patek. They used to hide the complications and be very classic. This is a skeleton dial. You can see the hammers work. It's really pretty cool. It's not traditional Patek, so I'm a little on the fence about it, but the more I look at it, the more I think it's going to be a very, very successful piece. The second piece is a 5370p with an 011 dial, blue dial on the 5370. Now, I love split chronographs. This is an amazing piece. A blue dial is a great addition. It's going to be super sought after. What's really going to be interesting is now what happens to the 5370p black dial, the original one. So we're pretty sure that'll go away. We won't see any more of those. So now the market's got to figure out, is that going to go up now in value or is that going to be softer because everyone's going to be chasing the blue? So something we'll be following over the next few months, see where the market takes us on that piece. And the last piece was one that, again, excited me. It's a 5270J. Now, anybody who knows the history of 5970 knows we went with white, yellow, then platinum. Last piece was made was J. It was the rarest 5970. They only made it for a short period of time, then retired the collection. So we're hoping we're going to see the same pattern here. The 5270J, they made a simple dial on it, so it was not a big surprise, not a color, just kind of a classic piece. We'll have to see if it's out for a long time. We'll see what the demand was. Originally, the 5970J was not a huge success, but long-term people were happy who bought it. The other thing that's going to be watched real close is now 5270p salmon dial. Does that get discontinued? How quickly? Was only on the market for a short period of time. I think that's the piece to watch. To me, it's one of the prettiest watches they've made in a decade. Great size, great color, amazing dial. That's something long-term that I think will be a great buy. All right, so the last section we always talk about is what we are buying. So we are really paying close attention to Patek Perpetuals. I mean, Patek is still the ultimate watchmaker. I know Journe is, on top of the world right now, but Patek is Patek, still king of the hill. You can get some great bargains in 3940s, 5139s, 5040s, all these classic perpetuals, super complicated pieces that are really going at bargain prices today. So it's a place that we're paying a lot of attention to. I think it's a great place to pick up some of these special Pateks that just aren't the flavor of the month right now. And that's always a great time to buy. And again, the second part that we're always buying, and especially now, is Rolex Sports. We are hearing on the street that Rolex is going to be doing an introduction in September. A lot of talk about discontinuing sports, a lot of activity in Hulks and Pepsis and Batman. So we're really watching the Patek sports models closely and trading them every day. And hopefully that'll continue till we get the new introductions, and then the market will really take off. Well, again, that's the show for this week. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And always feel free to reach out to our team with any questions or inquiries about anything you've seen here. Have a great week.